Alright, so a while ago, a guy named Luca that follows me on Instagram suggested that I make a video of my Synyster guitar collection, and I thought that was an amazing idea. So pretty much I'm going to be going through every single one of my guitars, the story behind them, and what makes them unique. I will be doing question and answers at the end of the video, but there is one question I got asking me what tuning my guitars are in, and I'm just going to knock that out of the way as I'm going through each guitar. This was my first Synyster Gates guitar. I got it in 2010. It's a 2010 model with the invaders and the old style Floyd Rose push-pull to make these humbucker single coils. Yeah, so pretty much the story behind this is ever since I was 9 years old, I've been a huge fan of Avenged Sevenfold and Synyster Gates, and I begged and begged my parents for this guitar for about 3 years, and they always said no, and I believed that I would never get this guitar, to be honest. And Christmas of 2010, I believe, they handed me this, and I was the happiest person on the planet. This guitar is absolutely awesome. I love it, love it, love it, love it. It's the best day of my life. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's the original. It's in drop D. I think it's always been in drop D. And for all my guitars, I use Ernie Ball 10 to 52s Cobalt. I used to have just like the regular 10 to 52s, but when I tried the Cobalts, I just love the way the strings feel. They're just, I don't know, they just feel better to me. But it's enough of this. This guitar is my second Synyster Gates guitar. It was my first guitar with a sustainiac system in it, which took a little while to get used to. Just because when the sustainiac is on, it vibrates all of your strings. And if you're just like playing on one string, you just have to get used to muting everything else with the palm of your hand, and it just forces you to become a cleaner and better player overall. This is a 2012 model. Now with these, there were only, I think, 50 made in the United States, 100 made worldwide, and I got it off Drum City Guitar Land. I got the last one Drum City Guitar Land was selling. Awesome company. I suggest checking him out. I got this one from Guitar Center, this one from Drum City Guitar Land. That's pretty much all there is to say about it. I love this. I know a lot of people don't like it because it reminds them of Barney, but I think it looks unique and ridiculous. It's in drop D as well. I think that's pretty much it for this guitar. I'm actually going to get back to this one because there's a story behind this. Alright, this is my third Synyster Gates guitar. I got this back in, I want to say 2013, 2014. But it's the sustainiac model. Alright, so the story for this guitar and this guitar. Pretty much, my friend got this from Drum City Guitar Land, the sustainiac version, which there was only 50 made, and he got the last one. And I was jealous because I really wanted to get this one, but I didn't have enough money at the time to get this one. When I had the money, I was only able to get this one, which I'm not complaining. I love this guitar. And for the longest time, I kept nagging him and asking him if he would sell me this guitar, but he wouldn't budge. So Musician's Friend was having a sale on their on some of their guitars, and one of them was the black and red custom, like this one without the sustainiac. And I hopped on board because it was a pretty good deal. And then some time passed, and my friend decided he didn't want this guitar anymore, and he told me he'd sell it to me for $600. So what I ended up doing is selling the custom to another friend and using that money to buy this one. And yeah, it's amazing. I know this guitar is like really rare, and It's probably the most wanted guitar that I have in my collection by a lot of people. Other than that, not much else to say. It's in standard tuning, and yeah. Alright, this guitar is freaking awesome. I got it back in 2015. When they announced this color scheme, I freaked out because this is the same color scheme as my high school. And I was a senior in high school, and my parents told me that I could either do the whole party for graduation and like graduation ring and whatever, or get this. And I went with the obvious choice. Got this guitar, and I even got this engraved in the back, if you can see it. Hold on. I don't know if you can see that, but it basically says my name, and it says Hector Trejo, Klein Oak High School, class of 2015. Yeah, this guitar is amazing. I have it tuned in drop C sharp. I use it for all the C sharp songs like Hail to the King, Almost Easy. I'm going to be using it for Coming Home when I do that. So that's enough of this guitar. This is the guitar everyone asks about. No, it's not the dark earth finish. Sometimes it looks like it in pictures or video, but it's an olive green prototype. So the story behind this is when Synyster Gates was making his new satin models, like the satin gold one, Schecter sent him a bunch of different colors. If you look on Instagram, there's a guy by the name of username of Totally Cool, and he has it's like this pretty much, but instead of green it's red and the binding is white. It's really, really pretty. Jealous. But he had a bunch of different colors, even guitars with no Floyd Rose tremolo sent to him, and he tried them all out and chose two that he liked the best, which was the satin gold and the satin dark earth. And then he sent the other prototypes back to Schecter. So if you see the production models of the satin gold finish, the logo at the top isn't the skull with the top hat. It's his new signature, like that S thing. But if you look at really early pictures of him promoting the satin gold finish, you'll actually see this skull with the top hat. That's because he was using his prototypes. So all the guitars he didn't want were sent back to Schecter, and Schecter sent them to Drum City Guitarland. And Drum City Guitarland sold the prototypes that once belonged to Synyster Gates. So this guitar used to belong to Synyster Gates. This is a satin finish, so like my oils from my fingers and sweat from playing stain the paint job, which doesn't bug me too much. But when I received it, there were like little oil stains around this area, and I like to believe they were from Synyster Gates. When I ordered this from Drum City Guitarland, I also got a signed backplate, which I don't have right now. It's actually in my apartment in San Antonio, where I go to college. And yeah, just playing this thing is such an honor, knowing that it once belonged to the man himself. It has the new style Floyd Rose with the push-pull. And that's pretty much it. It's the lightest out of all of them, just because it's so sleek and it's thinner. This is definitely the heaviest, the first one, the original one. And this guitar is in drop D. Cool, so this guitar is the Schecter City of Evil Synyster Custom. I love this guitar so much. I think it's the easiest guitar to play on, although it is missing the top E string at the moment. It snapped while I was recording the I Won't See You Tonight Part 1 video. I was going to use this guitar. String snapped, so I ended up using the black and red one. And I've been so busy with finals and projects and stuff that I haven't had time to change it. and I just got back home to Houston, where my parents are. So hopefully I'll change it soon. This also has the push-pull for making the humbucker single coils. It's in drop D, and it has the newer style Floyd Rose with the push-pull and the stainless steel hardware. This one also came with the signed backing plate, although I don't have it with me. It's in San Antonio. If you look at my Instagram, I have a picture of a frame that has all of my Synyster Gate signed stuff, like my 2 backing plates from that one and this one, and a picture in there. I haven't met him yet. Hopefully one day. So that is my Synyster Gates guitar collection. Now let's get into some Q&A. Alright, so number one question I get asked the most is how I get my tone. What amp do I use? Funny enough, I don't use an amp. I use an amp simulator, just because when I record at my apartment, I can't be loud or else I'll have really angry neighbors. And when I plug my guitar directly to the laptop, where I have Logic Pro, I can turn the volume. I can even like have headphones on and it won't disturb anyone. I have it at a very low volume. Then I can adjust the levels when I'm editing the video, so you guys hear it fine. Also, when I'm recording here in my house in Houston, I have a dog that barks. I have my mom takes care of my cousin's baby, and sometimes she cries. So there's a lot of things that could be going on. So there could be a party going on in the background, and the audio won't pick it up, just because all it picks up is my guitar. I could sneeze, cough, whatever, nothing will be picked up. Only the sound of my guitar, and I love that because when I used to record the conventional way, which is through an amp for my older covers way back in the day, if someone walked in or if there was a loud bang or whatever, I'd have to delete the recording just because there was that disturbance. So that's why I plug directly in. So for my sound, I use this bad boy here. This is the Line 6 Pod HD 500. My guitar teacher from when I was 13, I think, had one of these, and I was blown away by it, and I had to have one. So I got it, and you can find them for much cheaper now in the market, just because you have newer models. I think you get them for like $300 now. But pretty much it just took a lot of noodling with the settings and figuring out what sound I liked the best. I use a Marshall JCM 800 simulator in here, just because that's what Synyster Gates used before Hail to the King, and that's the tone I like the best, like from Nightmare and the self-titled album. And I also use an overdrive pedal in front of that, and some reverb, some delay, although I use most of the, I'll use the delay on Logic Pro for the most part. So the trick is I keep my gain setting low, and as well as my treble, and my bass and mids high, because if you have your gain all the way up, it's counterintuitive. You think that to have like a heavier, more saturated sound, you need to turn the gain all the way up, but that just kind of sounds nasty. It gives you like this growling kind of distortion that just sounds really piercing. So the trick is to have your gain low, but you stack overdrives. So I plug my guitar into this, and this goes into my interface, which is this small M audio box. It's just basically where you can plug instruments in that allows you to plug it into the laptop. And from there I use Logic Pro, and that's pretty much the gist of it. So that's question number one, when I get asked the most. Another question I was asked was how I go about learning songs. And the thing is, recently I haven't really learned full songs. Back when I was in like high school and middle school, when I had more time on my hands, I would learn the whole song and jam out and stuff. But now now that I'm in college and I'm really busy, I don't really have time to learn entire songs. I barely have enough time to learn solos. Sometimes you'll see when I don't post for a while, you can just assume that I'm just, studying for tests and doing projects and all that. So the way I go about learning a solo is I'll typically learn it from start to finish. I'll go on YouTube and I'll look up the song, and I'll on the settings you can slow it down or speed it up, and I'll slow it down to 25%, and I'll just loop like the first few seconds of the solo over and over and over again. It gets really, really annoying and it's really tedious, but I'll figure out the notes by ear on guitar. Once I figure out those first 5 notes, I'll go on to the next 5 notes, and then the next 5 notes, and so on and so forth until I learn the whole solo. But sometimes, for example, like I Won't See You Tonight Part 2, I just learned that one. That one was incredibly hard to learn just because there's that section where he's just doing random stuff and the notes are basically indistinguishable. But what I'll do in that case, where there's like a section in the solo that is way harder than the rest, is I'll learn the first part of the solo and the last part of the solo, and then just get really comfortable with that, and then learn the hardest middle section. Put it all together and practice, practice, practice. I'll record. That's something I emphasize a lot. Record yourself playing, because then you can look back at it and criticize yourself and see what's keeping you from getting to the point where you want to be. Another question I got was from Kyle Stacy, and he asked what the hardest solo to learn was and the easiest solo to learn. I'm assuming Avenged Sevenfold exclusively. The hardest solo to learn, I don't know, it depends. Like, I Won't See You Tonight Part 2 was pretty hard to learn, not because it is really fast, but it isn't technically demanding. It was just hard to learn because I went like a month just hearing the notes over and over and over again, try to distinguish those random slides and taps and whatnot. So I'd say that's probably one of the harder solos I've had to learn. The easiest solo I've had to learn, the one I've done a cover of already probably sees a day, but I know how to play Gunslinger, the solo to that, and that one's pretty easy to learn. I'd suggest learning that one first if you're a beginner. I'll do a cover of that eventually. I'm going to do a cover of every Avenged Sevenfold song. That's my ultimate goal. And then another question I was asked was how to do minor sweeps where you bar. There's a trick to that. So I'm assuming you already know how to do your sweep with this hand, so I'm not going to emphasize this too much. The trick pretty much is when you do this sweep, the tendency is to let the notes ring out, and that's not a good thing because you'll create a chord like this. See how the notes are ringing out? The trick to that is pretty much you need to roll your finger like this as you go through the sweep. Do this really slowly because the speed at which you roll your finger and how you sweep with this hand needs to be coordinated right. So you pick as your finger is pushing the string. So slowly, the correct way should sound like this. Whoops. So I'm gonna bring my finger closer to the camera. Pretty much what my finger is just doing is, I'm exaggerating the motion, but it's doing this. Okay? So just practice that along with, sweep picking really slow, and record yourself. Record yourself because you'll notice things you're not noticing when you're actually playing. And then pinpoint the things that are keeping you from sounding the way you want to sound. So thank you everyone who supports me on doing my covers. It's really fun. I love hearing back from you guys. I'll probably do more Q&As as time goes on. And also, I'm going to be doing the Synyster Gates Masterclass solo from 2013. If you don't know what that solo is, look up Synyster Gates Masterclass solo on YouTube. It's this ridiculous solo that incorporates every kind of guitar technique, like 8-finger tapping and sweep picking and economy picking and all that crazy stuff. I'll be recording that soon, and I'll be releasing it once I reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you like what I do and you're not subscribed to me yet, it'd mean a lot if you subscribe to my channel. So thank you everyone again, and I'll see you soon.